What's going on, YouTube? It's Mike from the Hardcover Comic here. I'm very excited to talk about Bloodshot Volume 1, containing issues 1 through 3. This is the newest 2019 series from Valiant, written by Tim Seeley, with artwork by Brett Booth. A powerhouse team that have done a bunch of work in a bunch of places. Brett Booth has done Flash, he's done Justice, he's done almost everything. Tim Seeley has done a lot as well. Hack Slash is his creator-owned series, among other things. But today we're talking about his current run on Bloodshot. 5 issues in, we're talking about 1 through 3. So this storyline is a continuation of everything that's been happening in Bloodshot. Everything that's happened is still canon. We start off at this United Nations meeting where we find out, there's a little bit of mystery and intrigue about this organization that's showing up for the UN meeting. They shut the power off, and then we cut over to Bloodshot kicking butt. It turns out he's in Yemen, I believe, to stop some sort of body smuggling, human smuggling operation. I'm going to tell you, man, this storyline gets right down to it. So far, this run in general is 5 issues of nonstop action, jumping from one place to another, twists and turns along the way. Amazing, incredible artwork by Brett Booth. He's a very dynamic artist, very 90s style, high octane. I think Bloodshot's perfect for him. It's very violent. You see blood, you see guts, you see body parts. It's really, really fantastic, and I think I think the creative team we've got here is very exciting. But anyway, so in terms of the storyline, we basically get into this huge high speed chase, right? Where Bloodshot's trying to save these people. He's trying to bring resources, food, other things to these people that are in need. And of course, he's getting chased by this militia that's in the business of human trafficking. Sorry. But again, you get these amazing sequences. He commandeers a tank after he's getting shot at by it. Of course, you get to see, the fun side of Bloodshot. Bloodshot as a character, Ray Garrison, whatever you want to call him, he's been through a lot. So he tries to keep things light for himself, and we get to see this perfect moment here, where this is Brett Booth at his best. This is Bloodshot pretty much at his best. He's singing a personalized version of 12 Days of Christmas while he's getting burned on fire as the tank he's in explodes. I mean, insanity, and this is what the entire run feels like. This is still issue 1 at this point. So we jump back to the UN, and we get introduced to this organization called Black Bar, led by Commander Grail, which isn't actually his real name. But he comes in and he gives these folks a breakdown of who Bloodshot is, why he's a problem, and why the Black Bar basically needs a larger sum of money to deal with him. He gives a good breakdown for new readers as to who Bloodshot is, what his powers are, and Tim Seeley in general does a fantastic job throughout the run breaking down Bloodshot's powers. Issue number 2 gets right into it, man, right into it. It starts off with this amazing splash page where Bloodshot is jumping into the blade of a helicopter. The only thing that I don't get is the ending of issue 1 had Bloodshot in a very different position than where we see him in issue number 2. Either way, it's phenomenal. It's very, very, very cool to see. And like I said, this is pretty much how the book is the entire time. This is the start of issue 2 right here, page number 1. And it just keeps pushing and pushing. So we get some more information about Grail and the Black Bar organization in general. He promises Bloodshot, I'm going to feed these people. If you keep letting me do what I need to do, and all that stuff. So, he's got these multiple sides to him. We see Bloodshot still on the run. We start seeing basically this different technology that Black Bar has and how that affects Bloodshot. We also see how he's able to adapt to situations, and how his nanites are able to, how he uses them to combat these enemies and all that. Again, Tim Seeley doing a great job of showing just what Bloodshot's capable of. And we do get to see, things keep leveling up, right? I mean, you start off with, regular handguns, and then you've got these mag rifles, and then you've got a fully armored suit coming in to take down Bloodshot. It's incredible. Again, we're only like halfway through issue 2 at this point. But what we do get is some more background information on Grail. He sort of tells Bloodshot something, and I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but we get this personal moment here where he gets emotional. And it's a different take. We do find out in issue 3 a little more about what Grail is talking about here and how that affects Bloodshot. Again, I don't want to spoil everything because these are not super old issues. Again, amazing artwork by Brett Booth. I love whenever Brett Booth does fire. It's amazing. So in issue number 3, we start learning about this character, this female who's been with Grail the whole time. Her name's Eidolon, and she is a Psyot. For those of you that don't know, Psyots are basically the mutants of the Valiant universe. They have powers, and hers is to manipulate, I believe it's organic matter. And so we start seeing Bloodshot recognize this woman, and it takes us to a flashback. His nanites take him into a flashback where he was, on a mission while still working with Project Rising Spirit while they were brainwashing him, which if you're going to see the movie and you don't know what Bloodshot is about, you will find out what Project Rising Spirit is about in this movie for sure. And it's interesting seeing Bloodshot, Ray Garrison, convinced that he's seeing something different than what's actually there. I don't think that was the case in previous iterations, previous runs and story arcs of Bloodshot since the reboot, but I may be mistaken. There's a decent amount of content. It's been like 7 years, but it's an interesting sequence because, of course, you're getting more background on Bloodshot and you get to see that really messed up time where he was in Project Rising Spirit. But anyway, we get this flashback and she remembers who Bloodshot is, and now he remembers who she is. And anyway, we jump to this ship where they basically got Bloodshot and they're carrying him away. Eidolon, of course, did subdue him. And so basically they're taking him away. He's having a conversation with Grail. Again, they bring up that whole emotional sequence from issue number 2. And, people start falling asleep. They start feeling sick, and no one really knows what's going on. Nothing really makes sense. This isn't something Bloodshot's capable of. And we see a new character jump in, a new set of characters, I should say, jump into the mix. Again, very exciting. This is 3 issues in, and we've already had so many different character groups, so many different twists and turns happen. It's insane. It's a really tight, action-packed story. So we've got this group called the Burned that shows up. And, we don't get that much information about them aside from the fact that they used to work for Black Bar. And now, essentially, this Agent Nix, who's part of the Black Bar, he's telling Bloodshot, hey, man, we're on your side. We want what you want. We don't like Black Bar at all. Here are some steaks, 25 steaks. Get your protein up and join us. And that's how issue 3 ends. I'm so excited for volume 2. I have read issues 4 and 5. 6 will be the 3rd issue in the volume. I'm not sure why Valiant's doing this, but they're doing 3 issue volumes for this Bloodshot series. I think they're like $14.99 books, 3 issues, 112 pages, some bonus content in there as well. But I'm super excited. I'm loving this run so much. It reminds me of the first run since the reboot by Dwayne Straczynski, where it's a lot of action, compact storylines with a lot of different groups. Tim Seeley and Brett Booth are bringing such high-octane energy to the Bloodshot title. I'm very excited. There is serious blood flowing through the veins of this title, guys. I highly recommend you check it out. If you've been wanting to take a dip into Bloodshot with the movie coming up, this is the place to do it. Thank you guys so much. Mike from the Hardcover Comic. As always, you stay classy, Internet. Oh, and be sure to let me know if you are reading the title and what you think of it. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, you stay classy, Internet.